G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be covering all the details you need to know about SypherPK's new trio tournament. It's a 2-day format with $10,000 prize pool. I'm super excited for it. And at the end of today's video, I'm doing my much anticipated EU recap, going over my 5 picks to win EU FNCS, where they're dropping their history, and just basically catching you back up on the big teams in EU. Just quickly before we jump into today's video, FNCS is kicking off and a bunch of you guys have seen or you've been asking me. Yes, I am on the official broadcast. I'll be doing round 4 for NA East and OCE, which means on my stream I'll be doing round 1, 2, and 3 of OCE, NA East, and NA West. OCE is actually kicking off today as of this video coming out, so at 5 p.m. Australian time or 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be live on twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. If that's too late for you though, I know a lot of you guys are NA, I will be doing NA East and NA West as well, so make sure you chuck a follow. If you guys somehow missed it today, we did have the announcement of SypherPK's trio tournament, which is going to be taking place on February 17th and 18th, so next week. It has a $10,000 prize pool. It takes place over 2 rounds on those 2 days, and it's NA East only. So sorry for you guys who aren't NA East, but it won't be region locked. So if you're NA West, EU, I mean, even some of the other regions, if you get decent ping on NA East, make sure you give it a go. I was expecting with SypherPK to go pretty crazy with the format. I thought he might try out something new. I know SypherPK's always massive on making videos on, you know, like how to revolutionize shotguns, how things can be done better. I thought he'd go a little bit more crazy with the format, but I'm not complaining. He's gone with the trio FNCS scoring format. It is exactly the same. It's 25 points for the win and 1 point for each eliminations. It looks like it's going to be top 300 teams, because it's trios, are going to go through from round 1 to round 2, which is going to take place on the next day, and that's where the $10,000 is being given away. $10,000 is a really solid prize pool as well. This has got a bigger prize pool than the usual NA East Trio Cash Cup, with first place taking out $2,000. And I know a lot of people say they freak out every time one region gets a creative cup. Everybody panics and gets upset that it's not in their region. Fortnite has said they're going to be putting a lot of these on with a lot of prize money, so let's not complain about $10,000 being given away. And like I said, NA West and EU have proven they can perform really well on NA East as well, so I'm expecting some ridiculously stacked games. Top 300 trios competing for $10,000 with first getting $2,000. That's going to be a good tournament. SypherPK himself will obviously be playing, and he even spiced things up a little bit. He made a tweet saying, looking for 2 NA East pros to carry me and win my own cup. If we finish top 5, I'll double the prize we personally get with my own money. Also still looking for NA East pro to play FNCS trios with Nick, Mercs, and I. So 2 big things there. We're going to have SypherPK playing. Hopefully he's going to be with 2 cracked mech demons who want to maybe try and help carry into a top 5. And it means that he and Nick Mercs are still 100% dead serious about playing an FNCS. But we've only got a couple days till FNCS. They're going to really struggle to find their solid third if they haven't already found them yet. So I don't know. I suggested Arab, a few other people in the community, but it looks like no one's really jumped to the occasion, or at least no one that SypherPK or Nick Mercs wanted to play with. I just want to go back to the start with EU because it's been a minute since I've covered it, so I've been mostly focusing on the Salty Towers kind of drama between MMB, Tayson's teams, and Aqua's team. That kind of is still a little bit hazy, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But in case you haven't been following EU as closely, we've had a bit of a ripple effect from Noah Riley, Vadeal, and Rezon switching their drop from Lazy Lake to Sweaty Sands, which shocked a lot of people because at the time of going from Lazy Lake to Sweaty Sands, they were dropping on what is pretty much known as the Sweaty Sands veterans, the champions of Sweaty Sands, Jannis, Andilex, and Sweeze. So things were going pretty well at the start. It looked like both teams were holding their own. They were going okay. But since then, Jannis, Andilex, and Sweeze have split as a team now. They have both made 2 new teams, which I'll be talking about in a second. And whether that's due to the, the insanely aggressive German team moving their way into the drop spot, I'm not entirely sure. Again, with EU, it's hard to see. We did have Jannis, Andilex, and Sweeze playing in a lot of the Baguette French customs. There is no chance Noah Riley, Vadeal, and Rezon are going to be allowed in there. They are just way too aggressive. Their playstyle doesn't suit what the French customs are going for, so we didn't get to see them go head-to-head in a scrim setup. But when it came to the Cash Cup, they did run into each other a few times in the Trio Cash Cup, and the German team came out on top for the most part. So either way, for whatever reason, Jannis, Andilex, and Sweeze have split, but it looks like it's all for the best. The new teams they formed look insane. You guys know me, whatever the reason for a team splitting up, as long as both teams or all the players find new teams and they look strong, I'm super happy to see it happen. And that's pretty much exactly what we've seen. Hen, Chapix, and Jannis have now formed, and honestly, it's probably the best team we've ever seen Hen on, who is looking like one of the best players in EU right now, so I'm super happy to see it. They also found themselves a drop spot. It looks like they're going to be going craggy, which, as you know, is one of my favorite drop spots on the map. Kanata, Macwood, and Bucky proving on NA East why it is such an insane drop. And now with the Storm Scout sniper rifle taken out of the game and the Klinger sniper being, in my opinion, really the only viable exotic in competitive, if they can get their hands on that, if they lend towards it, or just getting double epic upgrades if they don't want to. I don't know if you've seen, but on NA East anyway, Zayt has been really trying to publicly get the information out there that Fishsticks currently has a quest that allows a harpoon quest to be completed on a friendly, not an opponent, which gives every player in the team 200 gold. So you pretty much get guaranteed double purple upgrade if you get Fishsticks at craggy. So they're looking really, really good. And then Andilex managed to find himself with Sweeze and Snazy. They're going Catty corners, which to a lot of people doesn't sound like a really strong drop spot. And with most of my streams and my content focusing on NA East, it's looked a bit sketchy because you've had Colazo's team being constantly contested by COD Genesis's team. You haven't really got to see the strength of an uncontested Catty, but I think it is one of the most underrated drops on the map. In my opinion, hands down, it is the best solo or duos drop on the map. Trios gets a little bit sketchier when it comes to how much loot you get, but it has guaranteed bounties or easy quests, guaranteed upgrade, full of every material, peppers, and then enough food, usually between the mushrooms, to almost guarantee shield without using any. So even though there's not as much loot, when you combine those few things together, it is a really, really solid drop. And I mean, they're already proving why. They performed so insanely well, winning the Solari Cup that happened most recently, coming in first. So new team, new drop spot, and they're already popping off. The other team I need to make sure I include today, but I have already talked about, is Andretta, Refsguard, and Scram. Coming out of Steamy, they are looking so ridiculously strong. I talked about this in a previous video. They're pretty much coming top 5 in almost every stack tournament they've played, doing well in cash cups as well. So they're right up there as some of my favorites to do well this EU, but I've already covered that. And then the last team I really want to talk about that I haven't said much about on my channel is Kami, Setty, and Teeq. Now, obviously, you've probably seen the memes of the Kami split, the part of the map that doesn't seem that strong, but with this team looks absolutely ridiculous, and they've still got the Kami split. Kami has owned this split now pretty much since this map was invented. If you guys don't know, it's kind of that area around above retail, kind of towards the Coliseum. It's that bridge area, it's the lake house, it's all of that included. They get so much loot on this loot path, and I mean, they're a shoe-in to qualify for grand finals, and it's one of those drop spots that maybe I think like an underrated team could try to carve out a chunk of it. But I would say that if Teeq and Setty and Kami haven't been able to hold this on lockdown this entire time, just because it's a big area of the map, I don't know. They've done such a good job of conditioning it. On NA East or another region, I'd say there's no chance someone could hold on to this much loot, especially when it's such a well-known drop. Everyone talking about how good the Kami split is, but he's holding on to it. So they are looking ridiculously strong as well. And I know what you're thinking. I've made it this far through an EU recap, and I haven't once talked about Mongrel, Mitra, Benji, or Tayson's team, or Aqua. And that's because I don't have as much confidence going into it because there's so much confusion. What is going on at Salty Towers? Obviously, Aqua, CRR, and Wolfies look like they've split. I've seen nothing new from them in the last few days. They haven't announced new teams, so maybe I know that I said it last video and you guys last kissed and made up. Very common Australian expression. Apparently, you guys don't use it that much based on the comments, but it looks like they've made things up and maybe they're playing together. I don't know. I've seen nothing. I'm very surprised 2 days out from EU that we still don't know what they're doing. But as far as MMB versus Tayson, iDrop, and Savage, I can't really pick either of them to do insanely well when it looks like both of them are kind of locked into a bit of an ego battle over Salty Towers. After this first week of FNCS, we'll get a clearer idea of what's going on if either of them leaves it, because I genuinely think one of them has to. And Savage has had so many issues issues with FNCS in the past with getting griefed or just having spawn issues that cost him his FNCS. I can't see him doing that. iDrop being very, very well known for just not wanting to get involved in drama like this. So I'm surprised to see the team still staying. Maybe that's the kind of, you know, the Tayson ego people talk about. He doesn't want to leave the drop. But even then, I'd be happy to see MMB leave as well. I just don't think Salty Towers is even that good of a drop, let alone to throw two of the best EU's teams in FNCS. So I don't know, they might do something else. I wanted to include and make sure I mentioned what was going on in today's video, but as of the Cash Cup and as of any games they've played recently, it looks like they're both still going there. But Cash Cup's a pretty W key. Obviously we had MMB getting the highest amount of eliminations of any team inside the top 8, which is where they came. So very aggressive play style lends itself to Salty Towers. Maybe when it comes to FNCS they won't go there as well. I just don't know, but I wanted to make sure I included what was going on with them. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. Any team that I didn't mention doesn't mean they're not a good team or I couldn't see them doing well. It's just I really wanted to make sure I focus on the teams that I know have an insane chance of popping off. I'm gonna do this as well for the other regions I follow, NA East, OCE, NA West. Those videos are coming, I promise you. FNCS is kicking off. This is absolute gold content season for me. The daily uploads will be still heading out every single day. If you're liking them, please chuck a like on the video. Let me know in the comment section down below any EU teams that I forgot that you maybe think do well. I know you French guys, I always do you dirty. You always say, how are you not including any of the French teams? And that is my bad. I just struggle to follow them with the language barriers. If one of them pops off, you know I'll be shouting them out about it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much to me. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.